Welcome. I'm Tariq. You're probably wondering why I'm looking more, well, I guess you can say formal than usual, especially considering the day this video was released. Well, that's because this video is very special. I hope you all had a good April Fool's, played some good pranks, got some laughs. That's good. But now it's time to get more serious. Now is not the time for jokes. The Adventures of Tachy Dixon, a show that everyone watching this channel is familiar with. The show about an adventurous 14-year-old and the exploits he gets up to in the town of Washington. The show premiered on July 24th, 2020, and it is currently in its second season. Season 1 consisted of 10 episodes, running from July 24th, 2020, with the premiere episode, From School to Home, to Christmas Day of 2022, with Tachy Dixon's wholesome, clean, and sanitized Christmas. 10 whole episodes spanning 2 years. But what if I told you there were supposed to be 11? Sit down, grab some snacks, and get ready to have your mind blown by this intriguing story of the elusive Lost Tachy episode. Our story begins on December 9th, 2004. Tariq Dixon, yes me, was born on this very day. While I was at the hospital, I heard a faint voice saying, "You will create a decade-defining cartoon on the internet." Of course, I didn't know what any of that meant, but when I got older, I understood what it meant. So in late 2019, I started production on the show, and a few months later, it premiered. Now we all know how season 1 went, but what about the lost episode? Well, this was during the time episode 5 was the most recent episode, so sometime between May and July of 2022. I was brainstorming ideas for the next episode. We've done a pet episode, a Halloween episode, a first episode, but now what? With a whopping, jaw-dropping 5 episodes, it's hard to think of new ideas. So there was only one way to find out what I wanted to do. I went outside to think of ideas, and then it hit me. A time travel episode. Tachy and Ralphie would go back in time and get up to comedic time travel shenanigans. It was brilliant. But I needed to know how a time travel machine worked. So I went looking online for a time machine. Yes, a real time machine. And I found one on eBay for a very small price. I bought the machine, it came, and out of curiosity, I used it. I went back in time to tell my 15-year-old self to think of a time travel episode. After my work was done, I wanted to test out my time machine a bit more. So I decided to go back in time to when John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln and punched him in the face before he could deliver the fatal blow. I single-handedly saved his life, but little did I know that changing things in the past would affect the future. It wasn't until 3 days later that I had been sued by John Wilkes Booth's stepdaughter doppelganger cybernetic clone, Jane Wilkes Booth, as I had been sued for copyright infringement and battery. Apparently, Jane Wilkes Booth has a stepson doppelganger from 1898 called Tachy Wilkes Booth, and I was completely unaware of this. This would clearly take time away from making the episode, but a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. The court case lasted a long, agonizing 4 minutes, as I was thankfully found innocent, and Jane Wilkes Booth was sentenced to 30 years in prison for skateboarding on the gravestone of an orphan child. After that, I had to get rid of the time machine before any other events would occur. It wouldn't be until the next day that I was greeted by the government, who took me to help them with a very dangerous mission. It turns out, due to my time machine, multiple figures from the future have been coming to the present in an attempt to destroy me for the damage that I had caused. It was in fact not because of my time machine, but rather because I fart in public restrooms, which was establishing the patriarchy. These figures from the future consisted of Mr. Wingless Bargain Fart, the 18-year-old politician, Jordan McWeezer, the 88-year-old cartoonist who had a deep, burning hatred for my show, and the great-great-grandson of the co-creator of the adult animated television series Rick and Morty, Jason Groenland, who had sued me for not properly compensating him for the work he did on my show, even though he did nothing but drive remote-controlled cars up his ass and shout all over the fucking floor. I knew, at this moment, I had to do something about this. Mr. Wingless Bargain Fart was first. I had to kill him in order to stop the Xenogolians from invading the Earth on June 3rd, 2025, which will 100% happen and has been scientifically proven to be true. I used the shotgun I got from the first day of kindergarten on September 3rd, 2009, and shot him dead in the chest, killing him. Jordan McWeezer was next, but this one wouldn't be so easy. You see, Jordan was a firebender. I did not see the Avatar movie, so I had no idea how to defeat him. My shotgun was rendered useless, so I had to emotionally hurt him. I managed to get access to his bank account and spent all his money on Versace and gambling sites. But that wasn't it. Jordan's favorite show was the 1989 animated sitcom, The Simpsons. So I used AI to create a Simpsons episode where the family all collectively take turns insulting him. I had to dig into his personal life to find things they could insult him for. The episode was broadcasted live, and due to the embarrassment, Jordan flew back to his home planet. Jason Groenland was the last one left. I was ready to face him in court. I have everything prepared, ready to face him. But he didn't show up on the account of him playing with remote control cars covered in shit. He's driving remote control cars covered in shit. Thankfully, he was stupid enough to publicly post his address online, so I went to his house and broke in. It turns out, his cars were actually devices to summon giant fucking crabs that live in the center of the earth. As the crabs rose to the top and started attacking Missouri, England, and thankfully New Jersey. Me and Jason had an all-out brawl while the giant crabs were attacking the planet, taking innocent lives in the process. I beat Jason by shoving his head in the sink disposal, and was on my way to take care of the giant crabs attacking multiple cities. It wasn't until the Xenogolians finally came and proposed a peace treaty between the giant crabs and the humans, in which we both agreed. General Sargent, the guy who recruited me on the mission, was later arrested for his alt-right podcast that included multiple slurs and hate speech used against the Xenogolian people, and his multiple counts of throwing stones at old people, which he defended by saying he was under the influence of his cerebral palsy. I got back home after days of fighting, war, and all-around insanity, and was ready to finally work on the show again. And you might be wondering, what does any of this have to do with the episode? The episode was written, produced, voice acted, and animated in under a month. I had it ready to go, so why didn't I release it? It turns out that I unfortunately don't know. But what you are about to see is the full lost episode that was made to originally be episode 6. I would like to personally thank you for listening to my story on how this episode came to be, and I appreciate your patience. You are about to witness the lost episode of The Adventures of Tachy Dixon. Fully completed, animated, all that fancy stuff. Enjoy. I'm sorry. This was a pretty tense video, so let's let things simmer down for a bit. I appreciate you all for watching this video, and I have some fantastic and exciting news. The 6th episode of Season 2 of The Adventures of Tachy Dixon is releasing on Friday, April 4th at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's all for today, and have a happy April Fool's Day, everyone.